Hello everybody, it's Friday night and it is time for the Weekender once again. We've another packed show for you this week with a very historical bent to it. As we check out Stalingrad and Eastern Front for bolt action, we drop into New Guinea with some Anzacs, and I take a look at some medieval rules for On Bloody Ground. On top of that, we also have a £50 voucher courtesy of Wayland Games for one lucky commenter here on YouTube. Just pop a comment below the video, sit back and relax, because your weekend starts here. Hello everybody and welcome to the Weekender. I'm joined this week by Ben and Justin.
Hello.
To take you through a gentle meander of hobby goodness.
I went very matron there.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was very good.
Here's the problem, Ben. We're getting to the age where the old carry-on references are going to start to age out.
I think they already have.
They aged out a long time ago.
Okay,
Somewhere
I guess I'm just
by
backwards.
When they decided to revisit the whole shenanigans in the 90s with Carry On Columbus, that's when we realized that they'd already passed their sell-by date by probably 2 decades.
Yeah.
But, there's one for 7TV.
Yes.
Yeah.
The
carry-on range, that would be amazing.
That would be really good, actually.
Oh, they have to do carry-on camping. It was always my favourite.
Of course it was.
Yeah, well.
What? It was funny.
You smutty man.
I think you'll find they were all a touch on the smutty side.
Well, that's true.
could
Exploding
be.
bras and all.
That's why you stick with Carry On Up the Khyber.
Yes.
Where the devils in dresses
Yes.
are all men. It's very progressive when you think about it.
Yeah,
Yes, indeed.
Well done, then. There's a Sid James character model. Who does that? Somebody does a Sid James in 28mm in, I think World War II uniform. I can't remember why or what company. I'll have a dig.
Thoughts in the comments as well, maybe, if you remember. So, yeah.
If you're lucky, I might remember before the end of the show.
Oh, there you
Who
go.
knows?
Bring it up, yeah.
Time will tell. Anyway.
From the annals of history.
The annals.
Matron.
Anyway, we shall push on, as always, and kick things off with the news.
Coming to you from the center of Northwestern Europe. Covering board games, war games, card games, and all that you love. It's the news.
All right then. So news, sadly lacking in Sid James's, but we are starting with World War II.
Yes. We are. So, the good folks over at Warlord Games have brought us yet another faction. God damn you, Jerry. Curse your eyes. So we are now seeing the Soviet Union for bolt action is now being brought up to 3rd edition spec. So we've got the Armies of the Soviet Union. So this book is going to give you absolutely everything you need to get your faction out and on the table in those more modern historical, but modern rule set, but historical gameplay games. I think I got that right.
That was some way around, yes.
It was some way with a thingy and a stuff, and I think I did the doodly-doo.
Yeah, more or less.
So we got our Armies of the Soviet Union book. So everything you need to play is in there. So from all of your stats, all of your historical bits and bobs, how to build out your armies. And I believe if you do the pre-order, you are getting this lovely, lovely little miniature.
Yes.
Whose name I am going to butcher to buggery and back. Olga Kovalovya?
Sure.
Kovalovya?
Why not?
Kovalova. Yeah, there you go.
Kovalova? Yeah. Okay. Near enough.
Or Pavlova. I don't know.
Pavlova. No.
Yes, there is a Lloyd shot. Yeah.
But so this miniature is representing some of the female factory workers who took up arms during the Battle of Stalingrad. Mm-hmm. So again, whenever Stalingrad was on, everybody got a gun. If they found a gun, everybody got a gun.
I was wondering, because obviously some of the Armies of books come with particularly themed lists to sort of fit particular engagements and things. I was wondering if they're going to do one where you can take a lot of sort of essentially civvies that you used to sort of bulk up your force during that kind of Battle of Stalingrad time.
You're thinking like partisan forces?
Yeah, something like that, where there's a load
Actually
of sort of regular folks alongside the rest of the army fighting.
Yeah,
It'd be quite interesting to see if they did something like that. But
could be interesting. Honestly, I'm very curious for everybody to maybe actually start showing off some of their like Stalingrad tables, because I'm always curious just to see how people think it should be represented on the tabletop, because it was a mess. An absolute mess while they were fighting through it. So I'm really curious to see, how do you make it that messy but still make it playable?
I think a great linchpin for that would just be enemy at the gates, and just look at enemy at the gates and go, can I build this?
Yeah.
So,
well, it's not
Jerry
just,
built
you generally can build it. It's, can you play through it?
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, it's a struggle we've seen for years. Sometimes we'll do like a big project down here, and it's a big, beautiful, gorgeous cinematic table, and it looks wonderful. Terrible to play on.
That's true.
No hills.
No hills.
I'm just remembering the old trench board we did, where it was all magi-mixed, and there wasn't a miniature that could really sit on it except for a vehicle.
Good.
That was good
times.
for John with all his tank battles then. There you go. So,
yeah. Built for not that purpose, but used for that purpose.
There you go. Yeah.
Now, as well as our book, we are also going to be seeing a couple of the starter sets being brought up to 3rd edition spec.
Yes.
So we're going to be seeing the first one, which is Red Star Rising. So this is going to take care of your forces from 1941 through 1943. And as you would expect with the Soviets, we are getting a massive amount of infantry. So I'm seeing infantry squads, I'm seeing the PPSHs in there, I'm seeing anti-tank rifles, I'm seeing sniper teams, I am seeing the classic Katyusha, which is just a terrifying idea. You know, we need something to fire rockets. We have a truck out back. Okay, let's go. You've also got your classic T-34 in there, the earlier version. You're also going to be seeing some machine gun crews in there, some mortar crews. So basically everything you could possibly want, and a lovely commander with that little cape on, which I quite like.
You say commander, I say mortar spotter.
Mortar
Get
spotter.
out
If
there
you want to run for
and
that,
spot me some mortar positions.
Yeah.
Fair. Our second offering is Forward to Berlin.
Mm-hmm.
So this one, we're moving further on into the war. So it's 1943 through 1945. And in this one, we're seeing a bit of a change up. So still massive amounts of infantry, proper anti-tank guns, which is very nice. I believe that's a metal kit. So just for your, information. Further down, we're seeing the later variant of the T-34. We still have our Katyusha. The machine gun teams, snipers are in there.
The lady
mortar teams are in there.
Well. So cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think they're part of the plastic kit.
Yeah. That makes sense,
wonderful.
actually. Yeah.
So yeah,
Really
basically
nice stuff.
everything you could possibly want to bring yourself through the war as the Soviets.
Well, I want 2 more mortars at least.
Well, Jerry, I'm sure that we can find you 2 more mortars in the store.
So has Shay ordered this yet then?
I honestly haven't asked him, but it's Shay, so possibly. Although Other Hobby is impinging with expenses as well, so we'll see.
Oh, okay, but this is the best hobby, so this is what you should be spending.
I don't know. Someone could debate that, because we went airsofting. I got shot in the face.
Wow.
Fair enough.
Somebody was happy, going, got him, domed him.
There we go. Yeah.
It's good to have a hobby. I'd be fascinated to find out more about Olga, because she got a medal for the defense of Stalingrad.
Wow, that's pretty awesome.
But normally whenever they include a miniature,
there's a bit of historical text about it.
And then we go off and go, who were they? And then you get like a wiki 1.5 miles long. And you can go, what did they, that was insane.
Yeah.
That was a bit mad.
There wasn't much for her.
Shouldn't have got the medal for there at all.
On the Warlord site. So
it's very little on the Warlord site, very little on the internet in general. Just says she was got the Order of Lenin for the defense of Stalingrad. Because she was, I think she was a tank factory worker, worker of some description. Obviously, the tank factory was a massive area that they were constantly fighting over. So, but yeah, there must be more information about her out there.
Google AI disagrees with you. According
I
to
don't
it,
care what Google AI says.
Google AI says it's a fictional character.
You've used the two letters A and I there, which right off the bat means anything you now say, I'm not going to give a shit about. Because I'm assuming it's been hallucinated by the madness that is AI. People need to stop using AI. The people who use AI are the same people who criticized Wikipedia 5 years ago, going, you got that off Wiki? You're going, well, yeah, because at the bottom I can look at the list of sources and it isn't just created out of my own imagination because I'm insane, which is how Google AI works. So
I was going to say
that
Bad Squiddo is going to be doing a women's resistance Kickstarter at the end of August.
Ooh,
and
awesome.
if there was anybody who was going to do someone like Olga, it would be Annie. So she may already have her in her collection, or maybe it's something that's coming up. We'll see. So,
I mean,
but yeah, we'll have to have a look and see if there's anything on that front.
Okay.
It's interesting.
Mm.
Depending on how that goes.
Yeah.
Because obviously there is an Olga.
Yes. Yeah.
You can't see what I'm pointing out because I'm pointing at my other screen at home, people,
right.
but working the principle, it's that model I've just shown you. So would she double down to, I don't know, unless you can find more accurate pictures, although that looks fairly accurate. Although I will say the pictures I've seen of Olga online, she has dark hair, not blonde. But
well, there you go.
Pinterest prerogative, I suppose.
You know?
Yeah, exactly like Sharp. The real Sharp is dark haired, but then played on TV by the fictional Sean Bean. Do we think Olga could be played by Sean Bean? Is that what
Obviously.
Oh, Sean Bean can play most things.
Yeah.
He is currently having to play the Sheriff of Nottingham, though.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
Robin Hood, bastard. I imagine is 90% of his lines in the upcoming show. And I'm looking forward to seeing all of that.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Up for pre-order then?
Up for pre-order right now, yeah.
So if you're looking to dig back into Bolt Action with 3rd edition for the Soviet side, I think the folks have got you pretty well covered for whatever period you're wanting to play and whatever like style of thing you're wanting to play. Because I mean, most people are going to have massive collections already, but if you finally got someone who's just on that teetering edge, I think they've got a good jump off point.
Cool.
There's always new people.
Mm-hmm.
Always new people.
Always new people.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, they go, lasers, what's it all about? Throw their hands in the air and go, historics are for me. That's what we want, folks. That's what we want to see.
Yeah.
Speaking of people who threw their hands up in the air, went, lasers. Historics is what we need.
Yes.
Spectre.
Yeah. So they've ditched the laser sights. So we talked a little bit about Spectre Out of Time, which is their new set of historical wargaming rules a couple of weeks ago now. And sort of gave you an overview of what they're going to be doing with that. But this is just sort of a PSA to say that now you can actually pre-order the rulebook itself. So for those folks who aren't aware, Spectre Out of Time is based on the core rules that you might know from Spectre Operations, which is their ultra-modern, cutting-edge, bleeding-edge style military game, which they have made their name with, which is absolutely fantastic. But they've now taken that, and it's now been folded into Out of Time, which allows you to fight through 3 different distinct periods, and effectively uses that basis of the mechanics and sort of tags on a whole bunch of extra bits and pieces here and there to fit the particular period that they're going to be diving into. So you will be able to play through the medieval period, which covers 1066 to 1500.
Which Jerry will never touch. Can't make him.
There is also the colonial, which is 1775 to 1865. So that covers things like, your wars of independence, your wars of revolution, your Napoleonics, all that kind of good stuff. And then you have World War II, which dives into 1939 to, surprise, surprise, 1945. Who would have thought it? And what they've done is they've basically taken the core concept of Spectre, where you have the likes of commanders and officers and things like that, and then they've sort of tweaked it to sort of cover how they particularly work within a given setting. So if you were looking to play the medieval period, then your commander would be very much a heroic figure, the morale booster that keeps you fighting on the tabletop, that kind of thing. If you're looking towards something like World War II, then they take on a much more giving orders, controlling the battlefield from afar point of view, where it's more about the combined element of sort of how you're working together as a force on the tabletop. If you're in colonial, it's kind of a little bit mixed the two. This then sort of governs how you dictate your elements on the tabletop. Similar to Spectre, you can play the game with as few as 5 miniatures, what they've said. but you can go all the way up to 50 if you want to go down that route. So they've really tagged on that sort of idea of sort of elite troops versus sort of more hoi polloi and that kind of thing as well. That's still in there too. So if you wanted to do like an SAS team going up against a bunch of German grunts, for example, you could do that and that sort of take that on. You could still play with the GM and all that kind of thing, but they've kind of tailored this a little bit more to slightly more versus play as well, which is quite nice. They have got loads of extra bits and pieces in there to fit particular periods. So, for example, if you're looking at this stuff here for the medieval things, you've got things like the addition of knights, your musicians, your drummers, your clerics, your monks, your priests, all that kind of stuff. If you dive into the Dark Age period and sort of going for like early medieval, then you've got things like shield walls and all that kind of thing brought into it. The blowing of horns to, summon people towards you and battle and move things around on the tabletop and that kind of thing.
Like Gondor calling for aid.
Like Gondor calling for aid, which is just tied to Sean Bean. Oh my God, he's going to be in everything.
Are we now doing the 3 steps of Bean?
Yes, the 3 steps.
Always.
Now, you know what I would love to use this for?
Sure. Yeah.
So there was a show I watched years ago, Turn, where it was colonial spies during the War of Independence, where they were in like Boston trying to like uncover British troop movements, what sort of naval powers they had. I would love to play a game of this where you are taking on the role of that spy ring, trying to gather the information and get it out of Boston while not getting caught by the Redcoats. That could be a hell of a lot of fun.
That would be absolutely nailed on for Spectre's rules. That would work really nicely with what they do, especially with the kind of GM element. If you wanted to mix that in, that'd be a really nice way of doing it. You will also seen there that they have specific faction rules as well for everything as well. So once you dive in, there are ways to tailor your forces. And it's one of the things that can be a little bit of a pitfall for a kind of we do everything style rule set, is that you can sometimes find that it'll be like, well, everything just plays the same. But I like the fact that they've actually taken the time to throw in things like this to give you particular faction traits and stuff.
You can get the Rebel Yell.
The Rebel Yell. There we go.
Which is kind of like... there's audio recording of a, I'm going to say, 90-year-old Confederate soldier on YouTube at some sort of remembrance / reunion. And they get him to do it. And you know that the Arab...
Oh, yeah, like the sort of the gesticulation they do in their charge.
No. Where they get that sort of trilling noise. It was very similar to that. Now, obviously, he is 90, so he might not be able to hit the same points. But apparently the Rebel Yell was a very distinctive noise that they would do as they charged in. So if you haven't heard it at home, if you've heard the term Rebel Yell but haven't heard an actual Rebel Yell, hit YouTube up.
YouTube.
Search it. You will be
I'm going to do that on a break.
So, but yeah. That's a complete tangent, which isn't like me.
I do like that they've broken it up into like where there are key shifts in history between styles of warfare.
Yeah.
Because I mean, for the first long while, sword and board, then you started to have, your crossbows started to make their way in, then you started to have like gunpowder starting to play a part. And then it's just that slow evolution. And then there are some key shift points where this is now the major way we fight wars, which I quite like.
Yeah, so it's going to be really interesting to see what this is all like. Hopefully we'll be able to get our hands on it. And I have been talking to Spectre. We might have them in the studio later in the year to have a little bit of a talk about the rules and sort of how it all works. So yeah, just to cap off as well, if you do pre-order, there is a free miniature involved. So you'll get the Marine Raider, which might be a great starting point for a thematic force for you to use on the tabletop, which is quite cool. And also there is a quick reference guide, Pachow. God, I love a quick reference guide that will come with the pre-order as well. So if you are going to get the book, get it now so you get that.
Get a QRF.
Yeah. It'll probably be available later as a download as well, but this would be a nice physical one to have next to you. So
I will say the out of time bit feels like it should be a song for an 80s time travel film. Maybe that's the front cover, is the group that's been assembled to move throughout time and put right what once went wrong, like some sort of terrible gun.
Bill, Ted, what have you done?
And Sean Bean plays.
And Sean Bean. Sean Bean would obviously. Maybe Sean Bean plays all the parts.
Yes,
that would be great.
Oh, are we doing a Blackadder?
Why not? Obviously, what they should have called it was beat sticks, bang sticks, and boom sticks.
They should have done, yes.
Thus, neatly defining the three eras.
Coming to Kickstarter in 2027 from Jerry Inc.
Does Angela Lansbury get to be involved with that as well at that point? So, yeah.
Sure.
For her bed knobs, yeah.
If it was bed knobs and boomsticks, it would have been a much different film.
That's the zombie version.
I'm 100% at hope for that.
Oh dear. Anyway, yes.
Anywho, we have some more historical rule sets.
We do. Yeah.
A lot of historical rule sets. We're going to be talking about a brand spanking new one though from Whip, which is a company that is really great, and some terrible bastard did them as an indie when I wasn't here. Couldn't have done 3D printing. No. Couldn't have done a 3D printing segment when I wasn't here. Had to go ahead and do Whip instead.
Yeah,
reason.
Consider yourself lucky that you are not within smacking range.
There you go.
So, Whip have a rule set, a system of rule sets that are essentially the same core rules and then tweaked for periods, like you were saying.
Yeah.
The upcoming version is going to be War of the Roses. If you fancy doing your Lancastrians and your Yorkists battering the living bejesus out of each other in beautiful armor. Sweet armor. Not the medieval period, though.
Look at those helms.
That sword draw looks really awkward.
Well, that's because he's attempting to stop the guy smashing his head in with his bow at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not had time to think.
Step 1, fend off incoming mace to the face with bow. Step 2, desperately try and draw my sword and hopefully not get killed to death.
Step 3, hope your mate with the longbow is also nearby to help. No, he's
Step
running
1,
away.
drop bow.
Okay,
Step 2, leg it.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't want to do not want to turn your back on a charging horse, as anybody who's ever rided discovered. The police cavalry, and they're not even attempting to kill you. That's just incidental when that happens. Anyway,
I got a little spicy.
On Bloody Ground is a fantastic set of rules.
It's brilliant.
First off, because this is going to be a long one, buckle up, kids. Go make a coffee. Come back. We'll be here for a while. So, it is based for 28mm set of rules. We'll start with that. Obviously, all rule sets technically tell you what they're based for, and then you can ignore that right out of hand. It is based correctly as per the WRG. So all infantry are on 20mm squares, cavalry are on 25 by 50s. Thank you very much. Commanders are on rounds because nobody cares what a commander does really in the battle. That is step 1. The core mechanics, the core books, of which there are, I think, about 12 now.
A dozen, yeah.
As you can see here, they're all laid out the same in that the beginning of the book is the core mechanics, which are more or less identical for everything. It's a D6 based game and it is formed units. If you are familiar with Warhammer, I'm not going to say the old world because I don't know what they've done to the old world. I keep hearing it's similar but different.
It's very much based on classic Warhammer.
Okay. So it's very similar concepts. You have formed units and unformed / skirmishers. Formed units will have a rank, at least 1 beyond the first is good, but you don't have to. A basic unit is 5 miniatures. And then you can sort of stack them up whatever way you want. So you're building units and you're building army lists to whatever sort of size you want within the game. And then you plan out 2,000 point battles, 1,500 point battles, whatever it happens to be. As far as the War of the Roses go, this sort of shows you what changes. So every rule book will have your core rules, and then the subsequent second half of the book has the commanders and the lists that are tweaked. And a couple of things make an awful lot more sense in this than they do in sort of other games like the Warhammer. So your games are set points value. You have a specific amount of percentages that you can spend. So you can't have more than 20% of your whole force being your commanders and officer types. So you will need to include a general of some description. You can add clever people, like named characters from the periods. For example, El Cid in the Reconquista himself. You could have him, or you can just have a generic sub-commander or commander that you can go and find out the historical context for and add those in if they're not listed. But your commanders do 2 things. One is they can fight. They can be attached to units, but more importantly, they have command points and access to specific abilities that they can do in game. More of that in a moment. But they're there to bring the army. There are never enough of them around, and they never have enough subalterns or little runners to run between units that you would like to actually get them to do things that are good. Then you have your core units, which, like I say, you'll see here, it's lightweight. That's a mixed formation, which is different, specifically for War of the Roses. I don't think there's mixed formations in the Reconquista here.
Yeah.
Yes?
I don't believe so, no. I think that's something new.
Okay. But you can also get, like I say, skirmish and then just regular formed. So there's a formed unit. And then everything is based on D6, and D6 higher is better across the board. You're not going to go, I'm constantly rolling high. Oh, it's this test. I need to roll low. It's always a mind. But thankfully it doesn't do that. So you're rolling your D6 and you're attempting to do whatever it is, shooting or killing things up. If we were to play off a couple of these units against each other, so if, for example, the bowmen were shooting the horse, the way shooting works is you take your hit roll, you roll the dice equal to the number of figures firing, whatever it happens to be. Some units can fire multiple ranks. Some units can use massed archery, where they can just all fire regardless of the amount of ranks if they're standing still. Once you've hit your opponent, and this is madness, they then roll their saves. Or not, sorry, don't roll the saves. Yes, they do roll the saves. It's armor saves. So your scurriers over here with their light armor, which is a 5-up. So bowmen shoot, get 8 hits. You roll 8 dice looking for 5-ups. If they weren't bowmen, if they were crossbowmen and might have had a modifier, that might change that to 6s. Then whatever hits get through, you roll for damage. So it makes more sense. You hit. Does your armor protect you? No. Then you get killed. So that, and it's similar for combat as well, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Couple of interesting little quirks though that come in off the back of this. One is equipment. So the stat line is very, very short, as you've seen there. It's like leadership and armor and points. The equipment defines what you hit on, not your troops. So a sword and shield troop will hit on something and a spear troop will hit on something else. Also, your equipment defines your ability to be hit, not always your armor save. So if we take bucklers, shields, and big shields, for example, in another game, that would be like a 5-up save, a 4-up save, a 3-up save. Instead, are those arrows going to hit your man? Well, they've got a buckler. Buckler's this big. It's not going to stop it. Yes, you're going to get hit. It only modifies hits in combat. A shield will modify the dice roll for hits in combat and shooting because it's bigger. It's like a bit of cover. Doesn't change your armor. A big shield stops you being hit from arrows, stops you being hit by maces in the face, and gives you +1 to your armor. So your equipment defines how difficult it is for people to hit you, which is fascinating. It's a really nice interaction of stuff on the table. Sorry.
One of the things I liked about it is that it kind of mirrored a little bit like what we've seen from Pillage recently, where there are no stats for people because people are people. It's about the equipment you're using and the level of training you have in a particular, discipline or whatever.
Yes.
So
a dude walks and runs this quick. A horse walks and runs this quick.
Yeah. And then combat.
Oh God, I love combat. This is the thing that I gushed about when we did Indie of the Week. Yeah.
Yes. The way the combat works, D6 based across the board, so it's fairly standard. But you've got your combat engages. Let's say it's the same unit. Your bowmen get hit in the face by those horse cav. You do your first round of combat, and then at the end, you work out the momentum of the units. And it can change based on charging a flank, charging the rear, if there's any sort of extra bonuses for weapons, maybe, who knows. But otherwise, one side will have more momentum than the other. And cavalry play merry hell with people. So normally normally get your ranks and stuff, and the ranks will come into it. But in the first charge of a combat, the cavalry are just so disruptive, that lance piercing through and the horse is just absolutely running over everything, that nobody gets any ranks for the first round, because nobody is in a rank. They're all just desperately trying to not be killed by horse flesh. And as soon as your combat's resolved, you do a leadership check with a modifier based on the momentum. And if you fail, you shift. The shift's a 2-inch move. So you shift back or shift in a direction your opponent wants. So the cavalry will slam and push, or the infantry will slam and push. And then you immediately fight another round of combat if you've been pushed. And again, and again. And you keep going until you've failed. I
think it's three times,
Three times, at which point you break. And when you break, bad things happen. Unit goes away.
I did like that, because it was always really interesting, because it was all about, like, when are you going to commit? And then who are you committing against? Because if you go up against someone who's incredibly heavily armored and well-disciplined or whatever, you might slam into them and you might get exactly the same combat results, and then you just stick and you're like, oh. So it's all about really thinking about the command element of how you play your game.
Well, that brings us to command. Thank you, Ben. So you've got your
led by the nose
shooting and firing. It's all standard. The melee, fairly standard until you get that melee resolution, because you can push things back and push them back. And then you get your commanders. Now, your commanders have command points, which are a finite resource, and they only have a sort of a bubble really close to them. But commanders are able to do things out of sequence. So in your turn, you'll declare your charges. If you want to do it 2 units charging into 1, you need to make a leadership test to do this coordinated maneuver to make sure that they both reach the unit at the same time, which obviously will help. But your commander can do things like, I'm not going to charge now. That unit hits, it pushes, and then you go, oh, now they're in range. And then use a command point to attempt to send a little subaltern out. And they'll go in there, charge, and then they'll charge in, because now all of a sudden they're within range, whereas you may not have been before. Likewise, cavalry, as a charge reaction, cavalry can countercharge. So what happens then is your opponent's cavalry move their maneuver distance forward first, and then you complete your charge. So again, if the cavalry had stood, your cavalry may not have reached, or might have reached by themselves. You don't know. But your opponent goes, I don't want to take a cavalry charge in the face without doing some addition in return, at which point then they charge forward, and now you're going, you're falling into my trap. My bowman will shoot the living shit out of you.
What I think is quite good is that the new set of rules for the War of the Roses feel like they will deal with all of those interesting combined arms elements of what Bloody Ground offers, because you have all the big longbowmen, you have the big ranks of billhook armed guys in heavy armor, you have your knights and all that kind of stuff. And because the two sides will feel very similar as well, it'll be really interesting to see how the lists sort of play out. Sort of cover the differences. But
like I say, because I don't do medieval, I wouldn't be able to speak to the differences in the forces as a whole. Obviously, equipment wise, they're practically identical. Which is, really nice. But the other thing that comes in beyond the sort of the commanders is you've got like victory point cards at the back of the books, where there are scenarios, and then there are these additional cards that are sort of blind. Your opponent doesn't know that you're going to be scoring them, and they're tailored to the sort of the games that you're playing as well. So the books are the books are really, really good if you're interested in playing the period. The one thing I will say is, because there's a fair amount of them across the different periods, they're only about £13, so they're well worth picking up. They are an old style historical war game. I say that insofar as they contain the rules and they contain the lists. They don't contain, here's a whole history of all the Roses or whatever. They require you to know the period that you're going to do, or be interested in and willing to go and look it up, which for some people that may or may not be what they're after in a thing. But I mean, you can go off then and do a whole host of stuff. Sir Humphrey, one of our community members, did a really nice set of War of the Roses figures, and this is for a different system. But again, see commanders, because nobody really cares about them.
Yeah,
they're on rounds.
Yeah.
But then your infantry, normally these would be based individually. You can use multi-bases. What you just have to do then
use dice behind or something.
Yeah, is just mark them off to know where your ranks are going to disappear from, that sort of thing. So yeah, I think they've got about 12. They go all the way from ancients. So you've got your Greek, Peloponnesian, Persian wars,
up to the Civil War and all sorts.
Up to and each one is the core rules is in the book. So if there's one period you're after, just get that. If you're after a couple, yes, you'll have repetition of the rules, but then the back where the lists come in do a lot of heavy lifting, and they do little sort of bundle deals on the website as well, where if there's specific things like tokens or whatever that you need for,
you'll get those included. Yeah,
you can pick those up as well if you don't have tokens of your own to use at home. And this shows the sort of pageantry of the War of the Roses.
God,
which, again,
so many flags.
Not going to do.
But
if you were going to do it, I'm going to say they're probably up shit creek. But yeah, it's I never get that far.
Great set of rules.
Why is your commander attached to your bowman that far in front of your line? He's about to. That's something you can spend a command point on if you were to wear bed. You can spend a command point to execute captured commanders.
Love it.
Fun.
So when that unit loses, and lose they will, and your commander is taken hostage.
Medieval Total War had an option where when you ran down your opponents, you could just click the execute button and kill the hostages you had.
Yes.
Yes.
But then you don't get ransom.
You don't get the ransom, that's true. Yeah.
Question for yourself then, Jerry.
Just strip all the armor off them and sell it as scrap. I don't care about ransom and back.
All right. Here's one for you, Jerry.
Yes.
Out of the eras that they do, which one do you lean towards the most? Just out of curiosity.
I've got El Cid. Lloyd has my copy of Norman Conquest, the son of a bitch. Greek as well is obviously excellent.
Okay.
Because everybody likes to touch the Greek.
I'm very tempted to pick up the English Civil War one.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm going to stay away from that one as well.
Looking through them, I'm curious about the New Kingdom. Some Egyptian work.
Yeah.
I don't care.
No, Jerry didn't care.
Too many chariots.
But yes, lots of things for you to dive into and have a look out there. So.
100%, yeah. And if you fancy doing medieval, which I'm not, but if you do, it is a corking set of rules. Definitely join the communities online. There are some things that I think the authors have taken as read in some of the books. I don't know if it's going to be changed in the War of the Roses, where they don't mention it because they think it's known. Mm-hmm. So, for example, every diagram shows, and the pictures all show sort of 6 wide by 3 rank deep units. They don't have to be that. You are literally building them like Warhammer. You're building per man. Minimum 5 in the unit is what you need. And then you can rank them whatever way you want and that sort of thing. Yeah. There's no rank changes within game. You're not adding or subtracting files to your units. So, once they're based, they're based. If you want to go with the 6 wide, makes sense to me. It looks better, I think, than little squares all over the place. Nice chunky rectangles. But there are some things like that where it's not defined within the rule set. You just sort of have to read between the lines. So a couple of little things that need to be tweaked. But community's big enough that you can get in there.
Yeah. See, I did let Jerry talk about this.
Yeah. No, Ben. You didn't let him.
That's true.
Mm.
Yeah.
He took the initiative.
That's true. Yes.
Do we have time for me to just sit here and go through all the other things? Probably not.
No, probably not.
No. Okay, right.
You can go and check out our Indie of the Week for more information about that, and also look at the miniatures and stuff.
Yeah. If people want a more in-depth chat about it, YouTube, my friend Nick from Greece, medieval wargamer, has a flick through the book followed by some combat resolutions and stuff where he goes through how it all sort of comes together.
Shall we put the link to that in the description?
We will. I'll dig it out because
it was
a year or so ago that he did that. But it's a cracking wee system. And I think a lot of people should be taking a look at it. We often talk about the Osprey Blue Book series being 13 quid. It's nothing money these days. Have a shelf of them.
Yeah.
Likewise, these are 13 quid.
Mm-hmm.
Bosh.
Sorted.
Just get in there. Get in there and base everything on 20 mil squares. Like God intended. 20 mil squares. And what's that? Cavalry? 25 by 50s.
Jerry's prepared.
What you need? No, not really. It's just I've got crap ton of miniatures in front of me. Anywho, right, enough news for now. When we come back, I'll be talking about On Bloody Ground more. Oh no, sorry, Kickstarters.
Did you win one of our prizes? Find out on our prize claim center over at OnTableTop.com. Here we list all our previous prizes and those who have won. If you see your username, fill out the form to claim your prize. All prizes must be claimed within 30 days.
All right then, Kickstarters, Benjamin.
Yeah.
And we're going to be kicking off with more historical. All the historical that's fit to print this week.
There is basically all historical in this episode, basically, but there we go. Diving into the Kickstarters, we have one from the fantastic folks at Medbury Miniatures. We've looked at them over the last how many years. They do amazing stuff for both the historical and the fantasy range. But they have now hit up Kickstarter with a brand new campaign in conjunction with Victor Perry of Adventure Miniatures. And this is for the New Guinea campaign. It's volume 1, and it is their Australian Infantry. Throw another rifle on the Barbie.
No, don't do that.
This is how we lost the wars against the emus. So this is a brand new set of 28mm scale Australian infantry, based around the aforementioned New Guinea campaign that took place in 1942. All of the figures pretty much have been based on contemporary photography from the period. And in most cases, a lot of the standard riflemen, some of the officers and things like that come from exact figures and photographs from the period, and they're all based on them and their poses and that kind of thing. Obviously, a few things have been tweaked, changed here and there, to sort of obviously make the rest of the miniatures for the collection. But in essence, you've got a really nicely detailed and incredibly well-researched set of miniatures here, sculpted by the folks at Medbury, but then inspired and stuff like that, and researched by Victor Perry from Adventure. When it comes to actually what's available as part of the Kickstarter campaign, they're available both physically and digitally. So if you get them physically, you're going to get them done in lovely, cold, hard metal. And if you get them digitally, you'll get them as STL files, which will be sent to you as soon as the campaign is over, basically. Everything's pretty much been done for it. You're going to get your hands on officers and NCOs, have some fun with. You got your riflemen, loads of them.
Oh,
Poor
this
blimey.
is painful.
A bunch
Stop
of support
it.
weapons. Brep. The Owen Gunners, which I believe are very synonymous with the Australian infantry from the time. Because I saw a couple of people on social media being like, it wouldn't be Australians without Owen Gunners. They're there in spades, which is quite nice. And then you also have a bunch of additional specialists in there too. So you've got things like snipers and mortars and all that kind of stuff. For building up your selection of Australians, your Aussies, for use in the New Guinea campaign on the tabletop. This is only the first, as you might have expected from the fact that it's called Volume 1, campaign that they're planning on doing. They have thoughts of moving on and diving into things like vehicles, other specialist options for the force, potentially the enemies that you'd be facing in New Guinea as well, later on down the line. But in essence, this kind of gives you everything you need to essentially build a starter force for a Commonwealth army on the tabletop, for use in games like Bolt Action and things like that. So if you are looking to sort of play that as your sort of main focus for this army, these are pretty much nailed on for you doing that. You've got your standard riflemen that you're going to be needing to build up the core of your force, alongside all the other sort of specialist elements that you then tag onto that as you add in different elements as you go through and dive into bigger games. Although, of course, you could use this for smaller skirmishing style affairs as well. Maybe a bit of 0 to 100 hours with an Aussie twist could be quite fun. Set it in the jungles of New Guinea, perhaps, could be quite.
I wonder. So, I wonder if they had the kangaroo at this time.
I don't know. You'd have to.
There are
ask
plenty of them in the
Victor Perry.
country. I don't know if they brought them with them to New Guinea.
No. The vehicle.
That might be something that we see coming up in future campaigns for this. You never know. But they have said, if this one does well, it's already funded anyway. Then they might be.
Their next stretch goal is a Stuart
tank with modifications. They're already working on vehicles. Then boom, that's wicked. So
excellent.
Yes. Lots of really fun stuff here. And if you've not heard of Medbury before, they do brilliant stuff. We've looked at their their selection of figures in indies in the past, where we've looked at their historical ranges. They've currently done a lot of stuff for the medieval period, as well
and
as
the fantastical with Beowulf.
Beowulf, some fantastic dwarves they've done recently as well, which are very good for Middle Earth themed games. They are from Australia. This is why the campaign's based around the Aussies. But they do also have a seller over here in the UK as well, which is Infamous JT, who has a lot of their medieval stuff up there at the moment.
He does. Got a bunch of stuff back in recently.
There you go. So, and potentially in the future, we'll see stuff like these Aussies popping up there as well. So, yeah.
Considering he's got World War II on there already with his Polish, I think it would be rude if he didn't expand the World War II side of things. So, I'd say if you're listening to this, Jimmy, but you're on holidays at the moment, so you won't be.
Enjoy your holidays.
I've seen you drawing pictures in the sand.
Not great, but okay, let's go.
You know,
and obviously pledge-wise, lots of choices there, both physically and digitally, whichever way you want to go. So you can get yourself a starter pledge, or you can dive in and get everything in between as well. So,
digital, 35 quid.
That's not
for
bad.
Everything.
Pretty darn good.
But it is ones and zeros, so fairly terrible. Proper things though, 66 quid for your starter infantry, which will get you into bold action and 5 for victory.
Very easily.
Gives you a quid for the core, which is, let's face it, probably about 700 points worth of bold action. So it's the basis of your army right there.
In Jerry format.
Yep. In sensible, solid format.
Yes.
When things go badly wrong, people run out and buy metal. They generally buy gold, but when crypto's tanking, people don't go throw more ones and zeros at it. They go, I want gold now before the entire industry collapses.
Yeah. Think if we'd only been left with digital loot paper during the event, that would have been awful.
No, let's not relive that trauma.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah. So moving from World War II to the cutting edge of technology, we also have another fantastic company that's been working in the historical realm for a few years now. Historical modern realm, I suppose. And that is White Dragon Miniatures. If you're an old fan of White Dragon, you might remember them from a really awesome set of spaceships. But alas, they don't do this anymore. They were so cool. They were so good.
Why, Jerry?
This is the US Marine Corps. This is what we're looking at. So this is their new Kickstarter, which is focused on bringing a US Marine platoon to the tabletop for use in your modern war games. We talked a little bit earlier about Spectre Operations, which is the game from Spectre Miniatures. These would be absolutely perfect for using in that. There's also, what's it called? The Rogue... Oh, my God.
Rogue Warriors.
Rogue Warriors, if you wanted to go down that route and be a bit more Hollywood, these would be perfect for that too, which is very nice. We talked about that again on the show in the past. If you want
Black Powder Red Earth as well.
Yeah, Black Powder Red Earth, also very good. These two have also been based on someone doing a heck of a lot of research. So all of this is based on real orders of battle for the US Marines. And the project is focused on giving you, but once again, both physical and digital options for you to choose from when it comes to bringing the US Marines to. Maybe the hovercraft will come later on. We'll have to see. So, as I say, based on a full US Marines platoon, which means you're going to get 3 big squads spread out into Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie teams. They also come with their own squad HQs to lead them. You then also get a HQ platoon added on top of that. Wow, I cannot say HQ, but there we go.
Ben, are you suffering an update?
I might be, yes. They've also said that with both the physical and the digital miniatures, you will get the head options for you to play around with. So you'll have seen slightly further up there, you get a couple of 3 different head options for you to choose from when sort of adding them onto your miniatures, which I think is a really nice bonus. The physical miniatures will be printed on their industrial level printer. So you'll get them looking brand spanking gorgeous when they arrive in front of you in their lovely 3D printed resin. And then obviously from the digital point of view, you'll get them as pre-supported STL files. You just print off at home and do what you like with them. You get a whole range of different options within each of the different sets. You get your standard riflemen, you get the special weapons, your heavy weapons, your drone operators, all that kind of thing, your grenadiers. Again, all based on technology and firearms and equipment that they would be using in the field at this given moment. I should say that White Dragon also have an entire range of stuff as part of their Courage in Contact range. So if you like the look of these US Marines and you're like, I want someone for them to fight, they have all the bad guys you'd expect over on their website. So you can go and check those out and see what you want to do with them as well. So you've got both sides. Although, of course, because they're 28mm figures, they would also work alongside pretty much anything else out there at the moment as well, especially all the stuff from Spectre, if you wanted to drop them in alongside them. They will also all come with their bases and package very nicely as well. So you'll get some nice White Dragon plastic bases rounds for you to play around with there too. Perfect for your skirmishes. And lots of different pledge options for you to choose from there too as well. So you can go in at a small level or you can go big if you like as well. I will say, if you're looking for free stuff, there is a free miniature that you can download and test print right now. With a couple of different options, so you can see whether or not you like their offerings. But they also have the couple of miniatures that we saw at the start of the Kickstarter. So there is a sort of praying soldier version that you can get, which would be a really nice addition for those people who want to build dioramas, maybe use him as something in a scenario or something like that. And there is also the TAC operator, who is checking out all the goodness with his gizmos and whiz-bangs.
I will say there isn't a vast difference in the cost between their STL and their physical.
No,
it's impressive. Normally, you do see quite a jump between the two.
Yeah, but yeah, White Dragon do really, really nice stuff. As I said, they have a fantastic range of modern military figures over on their website, and this is just the next addition to this. Stretch goals are now being unlocked. They're fully funded. There's about 6 days left on the campaign as well. So if you're looking to dive in on this, there's about a week left. I would imagine that even if they don't hit these stretch goals as part of the campaign, they will end up adding them to their web store over time regardless. So keep an eye out for that and see where it goes. But yeah, if you don't want to do World War II and you want to try some moderns, maybe have a look at White Dragon and this Kickstarter. So yeah, very cool.
Fancy smancy. My favourite one has got to be the waiter. You know the one I'm talking about. It's the drone operator with the drone. Yeah. And all I want to do is put little glasses and bottles on top of that.
There we go.
So much. Possibly a little cloth over Sir's other arm.
I don't know. Some of the drone stuff these days is pretty terrifying. I saw someone hook up a grenade to one of those. They flew it out to like a stovepipe coming out of a bunker. And it just released the grenade down the stovepipe, and it flew off, did its own thing, and it went...
Modern warfare.
I mean, grenade special delivery, not Amazon, I swear.
Yeah.
Not the best use of drones. It's got to be in Ukraine.
Oh, yeah.
They dropped an e-bike to evac a wounded soldier who couldn't walk any further. So a drone just flew an e-bike.
That's so cool.
Where the squad was hunkered down.
That's fair.
They used that to medevac the guy out.
Nice.
Yep.
Love it.
See?
Yeah.
Go. And they can also be used as serving tables.
They can, yes.
They're like death from above.
Yeah.
I'll just put like a big pizza pie on top. Tasty.
Yes, it's the best way. So 6 days on that. 13 on the...
13 on the Aussies.
Aussies.
13 days left, lads. Watch out for that one. Quite blimey. Neighbours,
you're doing it wrong.
Tony, what are you doing?
Ben,
outfit.
There's not enough cursing.
If I close my eyes, it's like there's an Australian in the room with me. It's good. How would you enjoy your impressions, Ben?
It's about to get worse.
Oh, sweet to the beat. Right, enough of that.
Wept.
I think it's time for some more news.
Even more news, bitches.
All right then, folks, we're back with some more news for you. Tons more news, and we're going to kick things off with the berries.
Yay!
Up and coming whippersnappers that they are, these young lads, just fresh-faced out of university.
They're going to be big. They're really
going to go places.
Yeah,
they're full of vim and vigor.
Yeah,
vinegar. And other things starting with V.
Why do I say words?
However, they are working on some Frenchies. In this case, the thing starting with V are the
Vendaines.
Which are people in a place doing a thing. Specifically, the thing they're doing is counter-revolution.
Counter-revolutions, yeah.
So everybody really enjoys the fact that the terror happened and quite a lot of people lost their heads. But not out in the sticks on the West Coast.
No.
Where a lot of very influential landed nobility and the like, and the Catholic Church went, you know what, we don't want any of this. We especially don't want the bit where you take all our land.
Mm-hmm.
And so they pushed back, and the Catholic army was formed, 1793, and then all the little peasants who lived alongside their lovely overlords and masters went, yes, we don't want that either, apparently, allegedly,
we support
depending on who you read.
Yeah.
They either supported them or possibly actually liked the idea of land being given to them rather than having to till the farms for the Catholic Church. But whatever way, they took to arms. And for 3 years, there was a full and frank exchange of views as they attempted they attempted to retake / reimpose the previous fight onto the revolutionary Frenchies.
We want more crowns. Yes.
We want things to maintain. We want everything back the way it was.
We want our cake and we want to eat it.
Yeah.
So basically, charging forward, screaming, "I don't like change."
Yes.
I mean, it's a possibility. So the figures that the Perrys have released here are a mix of Vidin, which was the initial army, and then the Chouans, who are the peasantry who took to arms later on. As per all Perry's packs, there's a ton of character in these.
Oh, yeah.
Really, really expressive faces. You can just see them. This fella in particular is just screaming, "Hoi, hoi, ho," as he comes forward, which is what they do. And this guy's tied his hat on because he expects to be running very quickly.
Yeah.
Who knows what direction, but he doesn't want to lose that hat.
No.
And it's a nice hat.
He spent a lot of money on that hat. Yeah.
Well, you see, I don't know, because I'm kind of looking at it as he running forward screaming, "I have found my grandfather's sword, and I will not lose his hat."
Sure. Well, the guy in the middle doesn't have any shoes. So
No, he wouldn't.
Well, he's a peasant.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
He is, but that's no reason not to have shoes.
Yeah.
So you've got these two different sort of pack styles.
Mm-hmm.
The peasantry, the mended clothing, the farm implements and old weaponry press ganged into service, looking a bit rough and ready around the edges. And then you've got the people who may have been slightly higher up the food chain, who didn't want to lose out on where they were, who may be slightly better equipped. They had a respectable sized army. So sort of 30 to 40,000 men in the region were in there. And one of the reasons that the peasantry were kind of pushing back against the idea of not being peasants anymore was mostly because of the conscription that was being imposed by the French Republic. It was like, you need to send people to join our army to go off and fight in foreign places. And they went, we don't want to. So in the end, they had to join a different army to fight against the army that they were being sent to join, who came in en masse to kick the ever-living bejesus out of them and show them exactly what was happening. So
as they do.
Their counter-revolution was expressive. Like I say, 3 years, a ton of people died. Like 200,000 odd in the region between both armies and civilians. Because let's face it, when armies fight, civilians suffer. But it's a really nice example of a period that you rarely hear much about. You hear about the Revolutionary War in France. You hear about the terror. Obviously, there wasn't a huge amount of fighting there. It was just dragging people out of their homes and taking their heads off. And then, subsequently, the French Republic's wars culminating in that lovely gentleman Napoleon doing his good things for the next 20 years.
Gentleman he was.
He was a delightful fellow. But this was not unique. In France at the time, there were a serious amount of counter-revolutions and uprisings and rebellions against the new French Republic.
So then till modern day, nothing has really changed.
And these could be, it's one of the reasons why they're so good at protesting.
Yeah, burnt out carts turned into burnt out cars.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. When they do not like what the government's up to, they don't sit and complain. They don't write a letter to the editor. They get out in the street en masse and do something. In years to come, these will be yellow high-vis vest wearing Frenchies. And I'm all for it because the figurines that they've put together, like I say, they're the standard 6-man Perry pack, but they've got an expressive amount of nondescript looking kit, which means they're perfect for not just this rebellion, but any of the rebellions throughout that sort of 20 to 30 year period, up until when Napoleon really clamped down and went, no, I think you'll find you're going to stop that now.
And quick question, are these available to pick up right now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right,
so not a pre-order or anything like that?
Nope.
Nope.
£8.50. Oh, there you go. I can have them. I can have them right now. I can add those to my basket. But you can also use them for a host of other games. So obviously, we've been talking about jumping through time with Spectre. These are absolutely nailed on for that period.
They would be your sort of larger mookish type force that you'd be using alongside against an elite army led by the
French Guard get sent in and have to deal with these terrible sons of guns if you want to stick with the rebellion team, or potentially these may be the defenders in some rural part of France against a foreign invader. England, Prussia, Russia, Austria.
Someone has been told there is
Italy.
a rebel leader in the town. Go get him.
Yeah. So, I mean, these are nailed on for that. You suggested Silver Bayonet as well. They'd be fantastic for that. They're really character figures. I mean, if you're looking for a hunter or a marksman to play the role in
a couple of the
in the French list, but these would obviously go beyond France if you want. Obviously, style of hats and jackets and things do change between nations, but not so much. If you're playing Silver Bayonet, I don't think you're going to be particularly worried about the sartorial elegance.
Yeah, the vampires and werewolves might be slightly more of an issue.
Yeah, so they can be used for that. But it's a terrific set of figures from the Berries once again. Yeah. He's looking at him going, why is he laughing? Oh, Jacques.
Oh, but my hat is smaller.
I don't know. It's more of a...
I just had a handkerchief.
It is my first day. They give me a big stick. Oh, well.
It told me if I survive 3 battles, then I will someday get a gun.
I bought a big stick to a knife, to a gunfight. This is bad.
That's why his knife's on the end of the big stick.
I'm afraid he's compensating for something.
Yeah. But cracking stuff once again by the Perrys, and exploring just another interesting little facet of history that we don't often go near.
Very cool.
I love that we've lost both our Aussie and our French audience. That's great. So there we go.
I
think there's only,
I'm not going to say that on camera. No,
I will. We've got one French viewer that I know of because he writes everything in French.
Oh, there we go.
In the comment section, and you have to hit translate to find out what he's been saying.
Well, we love you. We do love you. So there we go.
But he knows English because he's watching us. But it's the typical
he just
French.
Refuses to type in English.
I'm going to refuse to type in English, and I'm 100% on board with that, mate.
That is just so quintessentially French.
Yeah.
It's cracking. It's belter. Ward, I love you. Anyway, so moving away from historical.
Yes.
We'll take a look at something fantastical.
Yes.
Just for the 3 people who are still watching.
Yeah. So we're going to cap things off for this show with a look at a brand new start set and more that has been announced for Dungeons and Dragons. So a lot of people will know that obviously the new edition of Dungeons and Dragons has been out for just under a year now. So it came out towards the tail end of last year. This is a brand new start set, and thank the gods. Thank Moradin. Thank all the other gods that, thank Bahamut, that they have actually listened to all the people that have been picking up starter sets from the likes of Cubicle 7 and Free League, and all those people doing fantastic starter sets. And this one now contains more than just some character sheets, a book, and some dice, which is how D&D used to do it. So this new starter set, which is called Heroes of the Borderlands, will come with a full quick start guide for you to get stuck into playing the game. Obviously, all of the core rules for D&D are available up online anyway as well, if you want to go that route too. But this gives you a sort of play guide to get you started. The play guide also works as a guide for you to just essentially play out of the box. So you don't have to, if you're the DM, sit there and read through everything in order to get started with the game. You can just open the box and just start playing, hand out the character sheets and just dive in, and it'll teach you as you sort of go through various encounters and scenarios. You also have two adventure books in the box as well. So you get the Caves of Chaos and the Keep on the Borderlands. Mm-hmm. So there's loads of stuff in there for not just one adventure, but two, which is great. So there's more bang for your buck on that side of things. Plus additional information in there for taking your campaigns to the next level, which is always helpful. I love it when starter sets do that. You then have 4 of the classic classes of D&D covered. So you have the Cleric, the Rogue, the Wizard, and the Fighter. So if you're diving in, you're going to be able to nail those particular classic characters. I also really liked, just as an aside, that on the cover for the box, it's based on the old Larry Elmore art with the dragon and the horn-helmed warrior fighting against it, which I think is really, really cool. So a nice little touch there, which is very nice to see. You also then have, supporting the players, over 200 cards that cover all of your background information, your species, your spells, your equipment, your magical items. So you've got all of that in front of you, so you don't have to reference a book constantly or keep asking the Dungeon Master. For Dungeon Masters, you then have cards that cover all of your monsters and NPCs, so you can have all of that behind your DM screen and look at that as you're playing, which is really nice.
They will still ask, though.
They will still ask.
What do I need to hit?
People don't read.
What's in front of you? Your character sheet. Well, what's it say on your character? I don't know your character. Why are you asking me? Why do you always ask me?
I was elected to lead the game, not read the game. But yes, you also then get all of your tokens for your various creatures. So you can see hobgoblins, owlbears, and stuff down there too. You also have standees for each of the characters that your players are going to be playing. You then have maps, load of artwork, maps, big like world maps for you to dive into as well. Lots of things to make sure that you manage all of your resources and all that kind of stuff too. So pretty much everything you'd need to start diving in and start playing Dungeons & Dragons on the tabletop. It's available to pre-order right now. Should be out very, very soon. I think it's relatively cheap. I think it's about 40 quid or something for it as well.
That's
so
not
it's
bad.
Pretty nice to dive in. This is then added to with another thing they announced recently, alongside loads of other things, especially for Baldur's Gate fans. Go and check those out if you're interested. But this is Dragon Delves. Now, back in 4th edition, I have the book up on my shelf here behind me. There was a book called Dungeon Delves, and it was a set of level-specific dungeons that went all the way from 1 all the way up to 20 for you to play through. And they were just themed so you could crack open the book, read a dungeon, play a game. And then if you wanted to, just level up your characters and move to the next one, which I thought was quite fun. But this one is Dragon Delves, and Dragon Delves is nailing on dragons to literally everything because there's far too few dragons in actual Dungeons & Dragons. And so in this, you get 10 dragon-themed adventures covering levels 1 through to 12. And within those, you will meet, guaranteed in each of your adventures, either a chromatic, boo, or a metallic dragon, yay, from Dungeons & Dragons. So you might make some new friends, you might make some new enemies as you go through, and they've all been tailored for you to carry on, obviously, as I say, from level 1 all the way through to level 12. What's really nice about this is that you could use it alongside the starter set that we've just looked at to sprinkle in fun and interesting adventures as you're playing your D&D start set, and sort of maybe take things in a different direction, maybe make dragons a much more of a bigger thing about your campaign and that kind of stuff as you go through. This has also been designed to be Dungeon Master friendly, so they have redesigned the way that they write their adventures so that there's a bunch of stuff at the start to kind of like summarize what the adventure's about. So you dive in, you know all the key points, and then from that, you can just sort of just lead it through encounters, learn how it all works, play through to the end, have some fun, kill some dragons, or make friends with them and steal all their treasure, or give them treasure. Maybe. I don't know.
Well, our current Tiamat run through actually just killed our first dragonling in the last session.
Poor dragonling.
Which was a lot of fun. Although
there you go. So
I have discovered one thing. The Shatter spell is OP.
Yes, Shatter is terrifying. Yeah.
It's as terrifying as sleep.
Oh my god, sleep's awful. Sleep and hold person are 2 of the most deadly spells in D&D. Because
if you're new to D&D and you're playing a wizard, and at the start you get sleep or fireball, and you can only learn one a day, don't bother with fireball. Fireball is pathetic.
Yeah.
Sleep has the potential to put entire rooms out, and then you just go in and cut their throats.
Yeah. If you're a
It is
murder
far
hobo,
more devastating than Fireball will ever be up until about level.
they can dodge
10.
a fireball. They can't dodge sleep. So.
Can't dodge, and it's AoE because it's a cone in a room. So you see a point through a door or through a window, and then boom through the entire room. You don't even have to get into line of sight or even start the combat. And then just walk in and shank everybody.
Well, that's what I liked about Shatter. It doesn't need line of sight, and you're basically just throwing out 3 grenades. I mean, the dragon we took down was surrounded by like 8 cultists, and I was like, Shatter 1, okay, Shatter 2, Shatter 3, okay, they're dead, get the dragon.
Boom.
See, whereas if you'd slapped them all, you just go in and cut everybody's throat, including the dragon.
Fair.
So Jerry's playing a rogue.
I stay at the back casting sleep.
No, he's going to multi-class.
Yeah.
I will say,
Murder Wizard. Yeah.
as far as the star set goes, it's nice to see Keep on the Borderlands back.
Yes, technically, yeah.
I wonder how close it is.
I think it
to
probably
Keep on
will be
Borderlands.
quite close, especially also Caves of Chaos is another classic D&D adventure. And it's just really nice to see that they've clearly looked at, what was really fun for people back in the day, and they've thought, let's update that for a new audience. Again, similarly with the artwork and the design and everything they've done for it too. So, obviously loads of role-playing games out there in the world, but if you want to play Dungeons & Dragons, it's a great starting point for role-playing games, and this is a pretty nailed-on starter set for you to have a pop at. So, there you go.
And it's physical.
And it's physical.
Yes.
There are
So
digital options, but get the
they
physical,
can't turn it off.
options. Get the physical options. Yeah. You don't want to get the digital option with the weird digital dice. Just buy the physical box and play online. There you go.
No. Foundry is honestly a great resource whenever you can't all meet up.
Yeah.
If somebody else can turn it off, you don't own it. You're just renting it. I'm just saying now. Foundry can be turned off by somebody else.
There's Jerry's PSA for the end of the episode. So
Analog. Nobody's ever turning off a book.
Yeah,
I will always have those books behind me on the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas there's an awful lot of games out there that someday somebody's just going to go, not worth our while paying for that, is it? Bam, your 20-year-long adventure goes up the shitter. Right. On that happy note, that's us done for a week.
It is. We're done.
We shall be back next Friday for more of the same.
We will.
However, we'll be back on Sunday over at OnTableTop.com for our XLBS, our extra long edition of the show for our Cult of Games members. If you're not already a cultist, you can join us for a 30-day free trial. And we might be looking at a little cheeky indie of the weekend at this week.
We might be, yeah.
All right, time for us to push off. Time for you to push off too. We'll see you in the comments below. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Go ahead and check out our other content on screen now. And while you're at it, why not hit subscribe and remember to ding our dong. Go on, you know you want to click it. Go on.